Hi, I'm back, and I think it's a very cool design where it's basically like in focus and then out of focus, and it's cool because also like the eyes automatically do that too. So like you automatically look close and it's in focus, and whenever you look far away, it's not in focus. So yeah, people. I'm guessing like from what I've heard, people whenever they look close or they believe that everything's in focus, but it's actually. So, anyways, earlier I was talking about what was it? So it's the story where basically I told the teacher about a conversation I had with someone where it's basically like, what was it? This happened a decade ago, where basically, and there's also other people here. Um, um, but yeah, we're basically this. I was having a conversation with someone, and this guy, he had a roommate, and he was having sex with the roommate, and then he had a girlfriend too, and that's just all sorts of problems. It's like you have an STD, you're cheating on her, like, and I noticed he looked absolutely miserable during this time, and so what it is that um, yeah, so someone else, so he never told me this, someone else who was in the homosexual community, he knew all about this. And so I kept it a secret where basically I knew about this. And so I found out about it, or like this guy who was an open homosexual, he told me about it. I was like, okay. And so later on, like that's because he told me, it finally clicked. Like he looks miserable and he's having like just he's doing this stuff, and it's like, okay, this isn't good. Just he's miserable, and then all of this is going on. So I went ahead and he came over to me, and he was like, he asked some questions, or talked about something.
You stopped with your hand.
I have a bruise on my hand. So yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how I got it. I just know I got it.
Did you hit the wall?
All I know is that I may have gotten it while I was at Domino's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that was from work.
I don't know. I just know before I was at Domino's, I had no bruise, and then after I get off Domino's, I now have a bruise. So yeah. But yeah, so this guy who's
And what happened to you?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
your job attacking you?
I have little minions attacking me. Mainly it's the boxes, I guess. I'm guessing.
Probably. Sorry. Continue.
It's okay. So, or maybe it's like the other workers, because some of them are younger than me, and then there's only like 2 or 3 that are actually older than me. So yeah. Anyways, so this is going on. So the guy who's like having sex with his roommate and then also with his girlfriend, he's like, yeah, he asked me some kind of vague question, and I give him advice based upon what he tells me. I was like, well, I think I was like, you should read the Bible, and then also, because from what I could tell, he was a Christian. So I was like, you should read the Bible, and then maybe ask people for advice. And so he's like, okay. So he listened, and not to be like, don't do this type deal, but it's like, okay, let me give vague advice to kind of help him. Well, then, so that was the end of the fall semester. So sometime in December, before people go on Christmas break, he comes back. I notice he's happy, and I was like, that was so good, because for like the past few months, he just looks completely miserable, and I'm like, you poor, like, and I have no idea what's going on. So anyways, he comes back, he's happy, and I talked to the guy who's an open homosexual, so he's out of the closet, and he's like, yeah, he basically broke up with the roommate, so he's not sleeping with his roommate anymore. And I was like, but he's happy, and but he's like, but he's not like sleeping with roommate anymore. But I was like, but he's happy. So my thing is like, is your point that he's not fitting the agenda, or like the desire for him to be a homosexual, or is it like the point should be that he's happy? Because if he's happy, like like what? So I was talking to a teacher about this recently, and she's like, I just wish people would fit their truth, or like go with their truth. It That sounds like a good idea. The only problem is that I was thinking about it recently because I wasn't sure, sometimes hindsight is 50-50 and you think about it and you're like, that doesn't quite make sense. So if people fit their truth, then it could be like some people, they are happiest when they murder people. Does that make it right? Does that mean that they should fit their truth? Also, let's say there's people out there who are rapists. They enjoy raping people. That's where they get the most fun out of. Does that mean that they should fit their truth?
What if the murderers killed all the rapists?
What if the murderers killed all the rapists? That's a good point. You know what, honestly,
Predator and prey.
Predator, exactly. So in a way, I'm just like, you know what, that is like, the people online, they're like, you know what, we support that, but at the same time, if the person who murdered a rapist went before a judge, the judge unfortunately would be like, we can't take justice into our own hands. That's what the judge, like I saw.
They don't have to. Leave that to us.
Like we would totally kill the rapist. Yeah. So like
we could play a game out of it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, dystopian society type deal. Oh my goodness. So
This is part of why I shouldn't run the country, but if I did run a country,
it would be like,
I feel like I'd be a harsh ruler, but a fair ruler.
There are actually some movies where it's like create a game out of it. I really need to watch The Maze Runner because it's like slightly dystopian, or like Hunger Games, and there's a few others out there too, where I forget what it's called, but it's basically where all these kids.
No, it shouldn't be kids. It needs to be adults.
It needs to be okay.
It needs to be adults that have committed actual crimes.
Yeah. Well, just to kind of base off of the adults doing crimes. So based upon the story, it was these kids who, like, whoever's the last person walking, and they cannot stop. They have to walk no matter what. So it could be like 3-4 days, and then they finally drop dead, or they just stop and drop down. If they drop down, then they're killed. So the last kid that's like walking, then they actually get like food or money for the rest of like their family's lives. So a bunch of kids will go ahead and do this to save their families. So
it sounds kind of like Mother May
I guess so. I don't know. Maybe
it's a bad game, but it's a game regardless.
It's a bad game. Oh my goodness. Why do you say it's a bad game?
Because depending on how intensely you play that game,
yeah,
that will depend on how long the game lasts.
Oh. Yeah.
And depending on who is Mother and what beef you got with Mother, you could potentially be up for anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that. Up for anything. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, gotcha. Is it a game or a movie?
It's a game.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But truth. So yeah, so like living their truth, it sounds like a good idea, but honestly, like I still remember hearing about this one story. This lady, she was held captive for like I think 20 years in this box, and this guy was like, okay, you signed this contract, and basically you're going to be held captive like a slave. She was held captive for over 20 years, I think. And then finally his wife was like, wow, I feel guilty about this, and released her. She went back to her family. The guy was arrested and sentenced to prison. And it's like he was happy about it, and that was his truth. So
he wanted to get away from his wife.
No, he was controlling of his wife too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He just wanted a slave. And so like he would go ahead and have her like they actually made like a movie based upon it. I can't remember what it's called. But I don't think he ever had sex with the slave, but he went ahead and had her like get naked, and I forget what else. And he had a son with his wife. And so yeah, it was like, yeah. But he
was it like a kink thing?
I think it was a kink thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like they basically kidnapped the lady that they held captive for 20 some years while she was walking down the road. They're like, hey, you want to ride? And she's like, yeah, sure. So they took her and then they placed her inside of a box. And it was like a mental, emotional control over her. So yeah, honestly, like living your truth, I don't entirely agree with, simply because like your truth again could be like raping or murdering, unless it's like murdering rapists, and I get that. Or it could be like some of the horrible people that are out there, some of the horrible dictators that are no longer alive. Well, some
I was
BS
about to say we could kill them too.
that are no longer. So, for example, Hitler, his truth was like, let's go ahead and kill 11 million people and 6 million Jews, and then they were gypsies. There were people who
He was
were.
mad.
It was messed up for sure. He killed Jews. He also killed people. He was that were was it mentally handicapped. So it's like living your truth. I don't think like
That and disabled people. Bro,
and
stop,
dis-
take me out.
and disabled people. So like living your truth, it sounds like a good idea, but at the same time the guy was miserable. So it's like, okay, is the point for him to be miserable and be out of the closet? And I like, yeah, someone else mentioned like, but he didn't even find out if he was gay or bisexual. It's like, and if it turns out that he was miserable during all of the time. Also, some people, they do things that they don't really want to do due to peer pressure or something else, and they're miserable during the entire time. So I'm just like, really? Like, is it really worth it? Like, he could have like realized, you know what, I'm really not happy here. I don't want to be gay, I don't want to be bisexual. So that was his truth. But like, just because you try something, like for example, it could be like alcoholics. They're very happy being an alcoholic, or they're very happy doing drugs. Does that mean that that's their truth and they need to stay in that way? Like, just, it doesn't, like,
What makes them an alcoholic is the question.
well, yeah, true. Some people become an alcoholic due to different things. Some people are like, I'm going to be an alcoholic or take drugs just to kind of make me happy. And so their truth is, I'm an alcoholic. But does that mean that a person should stay being an alcoholic, or that they should stay doing drugs?
Yeah, and then sometimes some people do it to like alleviate pain because they can't afford hospital stuff and whatnot.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay, like some people do marijuana.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and moonshine.
And moonshine, yeah. Yeah, don't do like so with marijuana. From you can actually find articles on those. I'm like pointing my finger over at her mouth, and she's like, and then moving away as I put my. I want to do it again.
I'll bite you, but you bruise easy.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, is it more important to live your truth, or is it more important to like?
You know what? It'd
Do
be
the right
okay
thing.
if I bit you, because I've had all my shots. So
Not hard, maybe like, just lightly, so it's like you lightly feel my finger without actually breaking off. I've heard that if you tried to bite a person's finger off, it would be easy because it's like biting a carrot.
the only thing that stops us is pain receptors in our fingers.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And the fact that I'm very happy with my fingers. She did not bite me. She put her mouth on my arm.
There. A little nip.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, I did start it. I went ahead and threw a pillow at her first. So, yeah. So, yeah. And then, so at the same time, I'm like, is it more important for people to live their truth, or for, like in his case, from what I'm guessing is that he was miserable because he's like, I'm not doing the right thing. And so I don't know if he ended up breaking up with both of people or just his roommate. I know he broke up or ended things with his roommate. But then after that, he wasn't miserable. From what I can tell, he knew that yeah, he was miserable. He was not happy. And he's like, okay, this is what I need to do. So, yeah. So, again, like living your truth, doing what's right, I think. And I did tell this teacher, I was like, you know what? Until someone is like, I'm more in love with this other thing or more in love with like doing the right thing, if that makes sense. It's like, you know what? I know this, like, not being an alcoholic is a good thing or not being a drug addict is a good thing. It's like, you know what? I know it's a good thing, but do I want to do it? Nah. But it's like, okay, you know what? I love the fact that I'm not an alcoholic. Other people, I love being around people, and more people enjoy me not drinking or like not being on drugs. And I love being around people until people are more in love with what is right or like more in love with who they could be or would change, people won't necessarily be willing to change. And so I did tell the teacher that, and she's like, yeah. And so, like, in his case, I guess he fell more in love with something else other than like doing something that he's like, I'm miserable with this idea. And so I think that's true for alcoholics or drug addicts. It's like, I love this other thing or I love this other person more than I love these drugs or this alcohol. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's about it. So yeah, that's what I have to say. I'll do any other videos tomorrow because it is quite late, and I'll probably do a pillow fight with my friend right now. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Charlie. It's like, good luck, Charlie.